Good morning, students.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning. So, abnormal conditions of urine. Why? Because online students are so repeatedly. So they are telling, "Sir, good morning, good morning." That's what I'm replying to them. So, very good morning. And today we are starting with this abnormalities of urine. So, in that abnormalities of urine, when you will go for this any checkup, so first they will go for this urine test. So what type of substances will come in that particular urine? So by those substances, what type of diagnostics will be there? So what type of disorders they have? By that only they will come to know. So what are those abnormal conditions? So first to write it down. First disease condition is called albuminuria. Albuminuria. This means that the name itself says that albumin in urine. In some persons, proteins are coming out along with the urine. That especially what type of protein? Simple protein. So two types of proteins may come, conjugated and simple protein. So these simple proteins will be coming out along with the urine means at that condition. So this is what we can call it as albuminuria. So one line information you should remember that in previous class I've already told you that this is the Bowman's capsule here. Afferent, efferent will be there. Here glomerulus will be there. And I've already given that how to calculate the net filtration pressure. While calculating the net filtration pressure, I've already given that two pressures will be opposing, one pressure will be promoting. What is that promoting pressure called? GBHP, glomerular blood hydrostatic pressure. What is that another opposing pressure called? BCOP. So BCOP means blood colloidal osmotic pressure. So that blood colloidal osmotic pressure, about that one line information I have already given. What is that? Here blood capillaries to be there. Blood is coming from one side, filtering here and going out. So through that another pipe. So here during filtration process, whatever larger proteins are there, so those larger proteins will not undergo filtration here. Why? Because they are larger in their molecular weight, so that's what they will not filter in this region. That's what whatever plasma proteins will be there while flowing, so those will be opposing to this filtration pressure. Are you getting my point? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಳ್ಳ ಬಂದು ಕೂತಂಗ್ರಿ. ಹಳ್ಳ in the sense plasma protein. ಹಳ್ಳ means do you know? Small stones we can call it as halla. So when these stones will oppose to that filtration pressure, like that only these proteins are nothing but plasma proteins, including other proteins like albumin also. Sometimes the disease conditions what will happen? So here, so these filtration slit pores are there. At least do you know slit pores? So when these slit pores or those pores will have this larger gaps. ಈಗ ಒಂದ್ ವೇಳೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಚಾಪತಿ ಸೋಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದ್ರಿ ಸೋಸೋ ಟೈಮ್ನಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಣ್ಣ 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 ಇರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ ಸ್ಲಿಟ್ ಪೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದಿನ ಸುಟ್ಟಿದ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಹಾಕಿ ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದ ತೂತ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾವ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆಗ್ತಾವ್ರಿ ಅವಾಗ ಚಾ ಸೋಸಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ ಕಸ ಕಸನು ಒಳಗ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಚಾದಾಗ ಹಂಗೆ ಬಾಯ್ದಾಗ ಕುಡಿಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೇಮ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ when gap will be there more gap will be there in between the slit pores and that larger proteins will also start coming in. Are you getting my point? That's what. So that albumin protein will also pass through this slit pores. Why? Because when they will have this larger gap. Are you getting my point? Usually normal person they will not allow this passing of this albumin or any other plasma protein through this capillary or between this plasma basement membrane. Illinda ಏನಂದ್ರೆ endothelium of blood capillary, ಇಲ್ಲಿ basement membrane. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಎಂಡೋಥೆಲಿಯಂ ಆಫ್ ಬೌಮನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಸುಲ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಇವು ಮೂರು ಲೇಯರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಲರೀಸ್ within that blood capillary they will not allow that's what whatever remaining plasma proteins are there na so these protein will oppose when fails to oppose so those proteins will start entering and thereby they will directly enter into the PCT so no reabsorption of these proteins so that's what directly it will start entering into the urine. Are you getting my point? That's what this is what the disease condition. So in which condition like this will happen or albumin will come in so the person one who will suffer from nephritis. Nephritis. Nephritis in the sense inflammation of nephrons. Or another word we can also tell, another disease condition called glomerulonephritis. These are very severe kidney related problems like nephritis, or especially glomerular region inflammation takes place. Especially in this region, glomerulus region, inflammation will be there, means the disease condition we call as glomerulonephritis. In bracket you write it down. Inflammation. Inflammation in the single or in the particular, in both the kidneys. Glomerulus. It may be in single kidney or in both kidneys. Inflammation of glomerulus. Why like this will happen? Due to leaking of these albumin protein from this wall of blood capillary wall. So when they will pass directly, no reabsorption in different kidney tubes. That's what no reabsorption is. Directly, ultimately they will be reaching to urine. Are you getting my point? So that's what this is also disease condition. And second one, glycosuria. Glycosuria, the name itself says that glucose in urine. When glucose is coming out along with this urine, one who will be suffering from diabetes mellitus, so first thing they will go for this urine and blood test. So in the urine test, they will go for whether the glucose is coming out or not. If the glucose is not coming out along with urine, that shows that their kidneys are functioning normally without any abnormalities. Are you getting my point? So what will happen exactly? Why that glucose will come along with the urine means what I'll tell. Why? Because I have already told you in PCT, high threshold substances to be there, like amino acids or glucose. So these substances they will undergo 100% reabsorption. No further reabsorption in other kidney tubule. If it fails to 100% reabsorption in PCT, so that whatever remaining glucose is there, that will come out slowly. So along with this nephrophiltrate and directly when urine will get formed, along with that urine, it will come out. Are you getting my point? So in PCT ಒಳಗೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಿಡ್ನಿ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ reabsorption ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Why? Because of this comes under high threshold substances. They have this 100% reabsorption only in PCT. Are you getting my point? So that's what the person, one who will suffer from this diabetes mellitus. You write it down in brackets. Diabetes mellitus. So this is what type 2 type of diabetes mellitus we can call, or insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, or we can also call it as IDDM. IDDM also same, type 2 diabetes also same, diabetes mellitus also same, sugar also same. In different way they can call this diabetes. Are you getting my point? Or hypoglycemia also same. All names are same for this single word. We can call normally. So doctors means they can call either hypoglycemic patient, or they can call diabetic patient, or they can call sugar patient. Sugar patient they want. Why? Because they already know that medical terms and all, they can call by those medical terms only. Hyperglycemic they can call. But in rural area, unit sugar ಬಂದು ಏನು ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ನೀನು 4 ದಿವಸ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಬಂದೇ ಬಿಡ್ತು. Nothing will happen by that diabetes mellitus. Only thing is, so we should increase our cellular uptake. How we will increase our cellular uptake? So by doing something. What by doing something? Doing something in the sense doing exercise or whatever maybe. I have already told you in previous classes only. So how much you will eat now? So that much you should burn it. Are you getting my point? How much you are eating, that much you are burning means you will not suffer from diabetes mellitus. If you have sugar or any diabetic history is there, then also nothing will happen to your kidneys. Why? Because of how much you are eating, so that much your cells will be taking for metabolism process. ಹೌದಲ್ರಿ? ಈಗ ಲಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಏನ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಯಿಲ್ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಓಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಯಿಲ್ ಬಿಡ್ತಾರ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಓಡಿಸ್ತಾರ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್. ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ್ರಿ, ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಆಯಿಲ್ ತುಂಬಿಡೋದು, ನಡೆಸೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಗಾಡಿ. ಹೌದಲ್ರಿ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಡೆಸಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಬಾಕಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಖರಾಬ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ಹಂಗ so that excess glucose, how much we want, our cell want, so that much they will take in the form of cellular uptake. What's that remaining will be there, so that remaining will start circulating in the bloodstream. Why they will take the blood sample? Why? Because of how much glucose will be remains in that retains in that blood, so they will calculate. So that may be a 120 mg, or that may be a 200 mg, or sometimes that may be a 500 mg. 500 mg per 100 ml of blood. 500 mg per 100 ml of blood means throughout blood circulation how much of sugar we have there. Is it or not? So usually they will call that. Already you have much more sugar. Where sugar? Especially in the blood circulation. Why like that will happen? In deficiency of insulin. Insulin is there, that may convert into glycogen, no problem. That is also again problem only. Why? Because one who will eat more sugar, or one who will eat that what we call it as sugar content. Sugar content uptake will be what we call it as intake will be more, means so those persons will have more fat. More fat in the sense either in this region or in the buttocks region or around the chest region or in different parts of the body, they will get the more accumulation of fat. More accumulation of fat in the sense, first it will be in the form of glucose. By more secretion of this insulin, it may convert into glycogen, and more than that means it may convert into fat, and it will start accumulating by circulating along with this lymphatic system. So through that lymph it will come and it will start accumulating in different parts of, especially in males, it will start accumulate in the around the stomach. That's what in most of the males of getting married, what they will call, after marriage will become more fat in the sense what, that is what accumulation, so excess, they will start eating more food and thereby they will get more fat, conversion takes place, and they will start getting that stomach. Are you getting my point? So why they will get means that already you know that by more intake of foods. Are you getting my point? So chemical changes will also be there. So that's what so cellular metabolism will increase, and thereby they will start taking more food than the normal. So this is glycosuria. And another disease condition called third one, ketonuria. When ketone bodies excess ketone bodies, when fat metabolism takes place in our body, release of ketone bodies takes place. So ketone bodies in urine, when ketone bodies will start coming along with this urine, that disease condition is called ketonuria. Ketonuria also indication of diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus. Sugar is there, only glucose barbakantilri, ketone bodies will also come. You should remember that if you want to confirm whether the person is actually diabetic or not, so first you should go for urine test. If glucose is coming, or if excess ketone bodies are coming means this is what severe condition. Are you getting my point? So ketone bodies won't be there in urine. One who will be suffering from diabetes mellitus. Are you getting my point? Otherwise they have to reduce, right? So this is what another disease condition. And fourth one more is just write it down, hematuria. HAE, you note it down. Some books have given directly HEMA, then also hematuria. Hema in the sense what, related to blood. Write it down, blood in urine. Blood or blood cells in urine. Blood cells in urine. If RBCs are coming out along with the urine means that RBC will also show reddish color, hemoglobin. So that will also be an indication that the person is suffering from kidney related problem. We can call now. So for example, you can take in a renal calculi condition. Renal calculi means we can commonly call kidney stones. We can commonly call kidney stones. In kidney stones, for example, that if it is to be more than 5 mm in diameter, so that will start accumulating either in the kidney or in the ureter pipe, or it obstruct completely this urethral opening also. If it starts completely obstructing this area or this area means so urine output will goes on decreases. In severe condition, if it starts accumulating directly, it will fall from this any of the ureter directly. It is reaching to that main opening, that is nothing but urethra means complete stoppage of the urine takes place. When pressure will goes on increases in the urinary bladder, so thereby what will happen? So capillaries will undergo rupturing within the urinary bladder muscle, and thereby it will cause so blood will start mixing with that urine, and after blasting of that renal calculi, so little reddish colored urine will come. So that reddish colored urine, that may be due to presence of blood or blood cells in the urine. This is what you have to remember. Not that much severe, so they have mentioned. And next one, hemoglobin urea. That means that the name itself says hemoglobin in urine. Sir, how we will confirm whether the blood cells are there or hemoglobin is there? By doing test, right? Morphologically, both will look like a reddish color urine only, right? Hemoglobin in urine. Hemoglobin in urine. And another disease condition related to kidney, how it shows by pyuria. Pyura. Pyuria. Pyuria means pus in urine. Do you know pus? Pus, whitish colored dead WBC cells will find in that pus. So sometimes pus may also come. That's what that urine color changes to pure whitish, milky whitish. Why? Because of in that condition that pus is coming out along with the urine. All these are the abnormal conditions of this urine. No. And normally 1 to 1.5 liters of urine get formed per day, that you already know. So pH of urine also you have to remember. Why? Because in the CT exam they may ask what is the pH? 6.0 means so that is slightly acidic only. I get him a point. So acidic pH you will find, and 95% of watery content you will find when you come across composition, and remaining 5% organic compounds you will find, including all will come: ammonia, urea, uric acid, etheric acid, creatine, right? So other than that, oxalic acids you will find. Other than that, vitamins will find. Excess vitamins to be there in our body means that will also get excreted out along with the urine. Some useful also be there, and much more harmful will be there. Right? We are excreting out. Are you getting my point? This is what overall composition of urine. So that will also be very important for your neat point of view. In last, they have mentioned ketonuria, albuminuria, and all that also you should remember. So after completion of this, next thing will be functions of kidney. In general, I am giving so functions of kidney. Functions of kidney. What are the main functions to be done by kidney? So first function will be removal of nitrogenous waste. Removal of nitrogenous waste. Removal of nitrogenous waste in the sense mainly two nitrogenous waste. One is urea and second one is uric acid. Little amount of uric acid will also be excreted out. So with the help of both kidneys. This is what the main function to be done by kidney. And the second one more important function. So maintenance of salt balance. So how this will maintain the salt balance? By reabsorption of sodium in different kidney levels. Are you getting my point? So reabsorption of sodium and especially potassium by different kidney levels, and thereby maintains the salt balance. NaCl balance also it maintains. And the third, another very important function of kidneys, so homeostasis, maintenance of homeostasis. So homeostasis in the sense, it maintains the internal environment. Internal environment of the body. In our body, internal body is maintaining the normal environment means, so that's because of by maintenance of homeostasis. How that homeostasis will get maintained? By selective secretion of whatever waste metals together, so unwanted waste, and thereby it maintains the homeostasis. And next very important function, so fourth one, so secretion of renin. Which part of this kidney, especially nephron, which part of nephron? Afferent arteriole. So by release of this renin is an enzyme, it may convert Angiotensinogen in turn convert into angiotensin. Finally I am writing angiotensin 2. One first, then into 2. So this will increase the sodium reabsorption. This will increase sodium reabsorption. This will increase sodium reabsorption by release of this hormone, and thereby it maintains what? Blood volume. Finally it maintains blood pressure, and thereby it maintains the blood volume. For maintenance of this blood volume and normal blood pressure, this has to undergo secretion of renin. Are you getting my point? So this is what they function. And another very important function of kidney will be very important this one. Fifth one. Electrobiotic production. I've already told you one line information about erythropoietin hormone. So this erythropoietin hormone is very essential. Why? Because of whenever we'll go to that higher elevations or the stratosphere, so there will get less oxygen supply. At that condition, we want more production of RBC. The immediate by secretion of this erythropoietin from the both kidney, so that will enter into the bloodstream, and this target tissue will be bone marrow. Directly it will reach into the bone marrow, and thereby it will increase the production of more red blood cells. Are you getting my point? By increasing the more red blood cell count, what will happen? We'll start increasing our breathing rate. So thereby more RBC, oxygen will be lesser. So we'll start inhaling. They breathe more oxygen, and all whatever atmospheric oxygen we are taking that, so that all oxygen will get bind with that more number of RBCs to be there, and thereby so within 5 to 10 minutes of time now will not suffer. After 5 to 10 minutes will not suffer from this breathing difficulties and all. It may cover, it makes up how? By more secretion of erythropoietin. So that erythropoietin will stimulate, write it down in one line, stimulate excess RBC production, in bone marrow. Excess RBC production in bone marrow. Directly through bloodstream, this will be reaching to the bone marrow, and thereby that bone marrow will start producing the more number of RBC, and thereby so we'll get more oxygen supply or sufficient oxygen supply. So when we are not getting sufficient amount of oxygen, at that time only it will release, not all time. Are you getting the word? You should remember. So all these are the primary functions. Along with that, it also maintains the sixth one, acid-base balance. It also maintains the acid-base balance in the sense maintenance of pH. It maintains the pH in the body fluid, especially in the blood. How it maintains the pH or how it maintains the acid-base balance? By removal of excess acids. Acids in the sense what here? Hydrogen ions by selective secretion from kidney tubules. Removal of excess acids and both alkalis. Alkalis ಒಳಗೆ ಯಾವ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ? HCO3 minus bicarbonates. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ arrow marker ಒಳಗೆ ಬರೋದು nephric filtrate. This opposite arrow marker towards the kidney tubule means HCO3 minus will also come if it is to be excess, or acids will also come like hydrogen ions. By selective secretion method, they will maintain the acid-base balance or they will maintain the pH, normal pH. Removal of excess acids and alkalis. Thereby, it maintains normal pH. Right? And other than that, so many functions to be there. For example, other than that means you can take removal of other substances. Removal of other substance in the sense, what are main substances? Urea, ammonia, uric acid. Other than that, whatever other substance will get formed in our body, especially you can take bilirubin and biliverdin will get formed in the liver. So that may come out along with the fecus or along with the stool by pooping action. Are you getting my point? So that is what the one excretory waste removal. Other than that, other excretory waste removal, along with that urine will also come, the bile pigments. Along with that, whatever drugs will take like tablets in the form of tablet, tonic or whatever may be, so that will also come out along with the urine. Whatever excess vitamins will remain, so that will also come out along with the urine. Are you getting my point? So all other substances will also be excreting out of the body along with this urine. Are you getting my point? So all these are the different functions. And after that, we'll move towards other excretory organs. So note it down. Once we have already discussed, we'll revise within 5-10 minutes. We'll complete with this. Simple, superficial, I will tell. So first one, liver, kidneys. About kidney, everything you already studied. Other than kidney means liver will come. Skin, in that skin, sweat gland will come, and oil gland will come. Sweat and oil gland will come. So overall in general means within the skin it may come. Skin. Right? Other than this, lungs. Other than this, salivary gland. All these are the other excretory structures. So first one, when you come across liver, what happens here? Bilirubin and biliverdin by warning out RBC. After 120 days in this spleen, first they will warn out and they will release this RBC after break down heme and globin, and when degradation of heme takes place, that releases the bile pigments. They will form this bile pigments like bilirubin. It forms bilirubin and biliverdin. It forms biliverdin. So this form the bilirubin and biliverdin will also excrete out along with the urine. Are you getting my point? After breakdown of RBC. And a second one, other than that, liver will also excrete out excess cholesterol is there, or lecithin will be there, or other bile salts to be remaining in our body after fat digestion means so those will also get excreted out along with this feces. Are you getting my point? Feces means along with that feces they will come out. Are you getting my point? Via intestine they will come, right? And in other excrete organ you can also consider intestine. Why intestine? Especially intestine means small and large both will come. Which one we should take? Colon. Colon comes under large and smaller. Small intestine. Colon is the small part of small intestine. So second one, sweat gland. Sweat gland usually consisting of sweat. So sweat will be constituting 99.5% of water you will find, not water you will find 99%, 99.5, but only 0.5% remaining will be glucose. Little amount of glucose will also come out. Along with that, urea will also come out. Along with that, NaCl will also come out. That's what I've already told you. Once when you taste that one, you can easily come to know salty taste. Is it or not? So this is what presence of this. Along with that, lactic acid. Lactic acid will also be there in that. Lactic acid. Sometimes it will be a sweety, salty. Why? Because little glucose also will find in that. Have you? No. No? No. ಒಮ್ಮೆನಲ್ವೇ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಹಳ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ತಲೆಯಾಗಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಬಾಯಾಗ ಹೋಗ್ತಾವ್ರಿ ಒಂದೊಂದ್ಸರಿ. ನೀವು ಹೊರ್ಸ್ಕೊಂತೇನೆ. ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್, ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. In real sports persons you will find real sports person ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. So next one, thereby excess secretion of sweat, what's the use? So will undergo thermoregulation, cooling effect. So body will be in heat condition. When we will go for heavy exercise, body will produce the more heat. So how to avoid that heat and how to regulate that heat means by secretion of more sweat, and thereby it will regulate and thereby giving the cooling effect. I have already given one more best example in other mammalia like in dogs. Dogs when they will go for this chasing, for this roti or for something, after that they will go for panting. Excess salivation comes, so that is nothing but panting only. So thereby they maintain their body heat. Like that only in humans means by excreting out of more amount of sweat, especially sweat. And the second one, oil glands. So another name sweat gland means we can also call it a sudoriferous gland. You should remember. Oil gland, sebaceous gland. Are you getting my point? This sebaceous gland will also secrete a substance, we can call it as oil or sebum. So this sebum constituting sterols, you will find sterols, hydrocarbons along with that wax also you will find. What is the use of by secretion of oil? One who will have this more oily secretion, that is good for health only, but for that also they will go for this treatment. So doctors, skin specialists, they will go and sir, why oily skin, more oily skin? So that's what I need treatment for this. I like that they'll ask me. So this is actually a natural process. So lubrication, it will give lubrication to the hair, and thereby hair follicles will be stronger. Are you getting my point? Simply you will go for this face wash, other washes and all, bleaching something. So that may be an artificial one. So this is very important. Bleaching in the sense, so many bleachings will come. Right? Coatings may come. Bleaching in the sense, in my words, coating. So first white cement will come. So and the next another color paints will come. That's what we can call it. Usually that type of paintings, especially in this season only. I think you understood.
Yes.
That's what. So and all you will find within that oil. Next when you will come across lungs. So lungs will excrete out nearly 18 liters of CO2 per day. You should remember, this is very important. They asked in NEET also. 18 liters per day. You should remember, both lungs, not by single. Both lungs will excrete out 18 liters of CO2 per day. Along with that CO2, nearly 400 ml of water will also get evaporated. And nearly half liter evaporation during expiration process. Whatever excess water will come, and this is about lungs. Then followed by salivary gland. So salivary gland in the sense specially, so little amount of urea will also come. I have already told you once, one who will suffer from this kidney related problem, first they will take saliva also, saliva test they will go. So urea also will find lead also will find mercury also will find thiocyanate also will find. All these are dangerous chemicals which will excrete out along with this saliva. Thiocyanate, mercury, lead, urea. And last one, intestine, especially in a large intestine region, so that colon is responsible for absorption of iron and calcium. If that iron and calcium will be excess, that will get excreted out of the body along with fecus, not with urine. I get him up, this pipe only different, that pipe only different. Don't connect with that fecal pipe. So excess iron and calcium. If hypercalcemic condition is there means so that colon will not undergo absorption of this calcium. Whatever calcium will be there in the large intestine, especially in colon region, that will get excreted out of the body. Are you getting my point? So this is overall information about the what are excretory organs other than kidney. And the last part will be the disorders of excretory system. So that's what we'll discuss in next class. Thank you.